Hey everyone, Thyworm here, bringing you a solo self-found guide for Harbinger. I will talk about why it is good, what Scarabs I take, the SSF tree and much more. Harbinger in solo self-found is useful for a few reasons, especially for their currency. It adds tons of monsters to the maps, and if your favorite color is blue, you're about to have the time of your life. Scarabs are fairly easy to find, it is not a difficult strategy to run, and the investment is only a few points on the Atlas tree, so it works well in combination with other strategies. The strategy doesn't really have any prerequisites. It is low investment, you don't need a great build, and you can simply run this. Of course, you do need the Scarabs, which are random drops from monsters. The idea of this strategy is incredibly straightforward. We get as many Harbingers in the map as possible, buff them as much as we can, which honestly isn't much. Make sure we don't have to click endlessly, buy some more tech, and that is about it. Despite its simplicity, it is a fun strategy, I think. Harbingers can also spawn as a map modifier, resulting in some completely ludicrous maps that are filled with blue shit. Harbingers drop all sorts of hard to get currency, like exalted orbs, annulment orbs and ancient orbs, and also fracturing orbs. Those are incredibly rare. I am using all my ancient orbs on unique belts, hoping to get lucky. I typically do actually in SSF, but I also play a lot. On average, I'm taking 3 to 4 ancient orbs home per map, plus an annulment orb here and there, and perhaps an exalted orb too, to give you an idea of the loot. That is in tier 16 maps with perhaps on average 80% map quantity. But as we will learn, that map quantity doesn't actually impact the results. You would maybe think that Harbingers drop the beachhead map or the landing divination card, which can be traded for the beachhead, but that seems to be not the case, according to my own testing and the wiki. It doesn't mention it anywhere either. Pros and cons. I found a few pros of this strategy. The Scarabs are fairly easy to find, and it works with a lot of combinations of Harbinger Scarabs, so you can run this whatever you want. You're not really bound to one specific Scarab, you can mix and match and everything will basically just work. The loot is very consistent, which is great, and it's also loot that you otherwise cannot get, like fracturing orbs. And I do actually like the color blue, so we're all good there. There are some cons too, however. The first is that the maps take quite a bit of time to complete with the Harbinger. It is definitely one of the slowest strategies out there. You still end up waiting quite a bit before all the monsters spawn. And the second con is that the mechanics don't really interact with many other strategies, as the monsters despawn on death and seemingly they are not affected at all by the Allflames, as they are not native monsters to the map, and the Harbinger currency isn't impacted by item quantity or item rarity, which means that you have very few ways to juice the rewards. For Scarabs, I'm typically using 2 regular Harbinger Scarabs for 6 additional Harbingers, then 1 Harbinger Scarab of Discernment to increase their currency to be rare and drop 1 type. This means you either get a ton of the currency that you want or you don't get anything at all. It saves you a lot of clicking, but it does increase the variance quite a bit. I enjoy that though, as there are no real downsides to this while playing solo self-found. The 4th Scarab is the Harbinger Scarab of Regency, giving us a 50% chance for a Harbinger boss. Those are the big blue dudes. The total chance of this is now 75% thanks to the passive tree. Every now and then you will have enough of the Harbinger Scarab of War Hordes, which doubles the currency that you're getting, which is obviously amazing. These are rare Scarabs, however, and not vital for running the strategy. If you have them, use them and then replace a normal Harbinger Scarab. On the map device, of course, you select the Harbinger option. Let's talk about the Atlas passive tree and the choices that I made. We're taking the Harbinger nodes, of course. First wave gives 25% chance for a more powerful Harbinger. Unspeakable Offensive makes them spawn their monsters much faster, which is nice. It speeds up the mechanic. Ominous Arrival simply adds another Harbinger. And I'm taking Rogues. I just like Rogues, they drop tons of loot, and combined with Seance and item quantity from Unrelenting Torment, they're worth taking even if the strategy itself doesn't revolve around them. For the Harbinger, I do let the green spirits possess me using Speaker of the Dead, I think it is a solid choice because there aren't that many monsters to possess, spirits won't possess many, if any, Harbingers, and because the mobs are so short-lived and don't seem to drop that much regular loot, I feel it is better if the spirits possess me instead. A bonus is that you zoom through the maps while you are possessed. To get a little bit stronger, I am taking Nico and rare and corrupted strongboxes, of course, should they spawn. I'm skipping shrines entirely in this strategy, but you can obviously take those if you want. I feel Harbinger isn't all that difficult. It's a lot easier than, let's say, essence monsters or rogues, so I can do without the shrines and spend those points elsewhere. I am running the Searing Exarch Influence. You can run either of Worlds 2 if you want. The Searing Exarch is just overall very nice to have. It provides a steady stream of currency and Scarabs, which is useful in solo self-found. I'm running the League nodes for more corpses, more Allflames, more buffs and debuffs on the monster packs. These synergize once more because the extra quantity and rarity modifiers are amazing in general in your maps. But also, we're playing Acropolis League and I feel that means you should engage with the League mechanic. That's just me, clearly, but I'm filling them quad tabs with corpses and I'm crafting and I'm slamming a bunch of Allflames on those maps. I'm just having a good time. To sustain, you need Scarabs, so I'm taking most Scarab nodes on the tree. I am specifically favoring the Scarabs that I use most, and if possible, I am blocking the Scarabs that I do not want. Harrowing Scarabs will drop tons of Harbinger Scarabs, even the more rare ones. There are nodes that I am not taking, and those are about increasing map modifier effect. It does increase the map juice, but it also makes the maps very rippy, which I find not enjoyable and not necessary. We're playing solo self-found, there's no need for all of this, I feel. It's just about having a good time playing the game, and the map quantity and rarity doesn't impact the Harbingers, so, you know, it's really not very synergistic in that sense. A node that I also never take, after quite some testing, is Meticulous Appraiser. Losing all quantity in favor of rarity just seems like a terrible idea, and it is, in my own testing at least. You get way less loot overall, way less Scarabs too, and less rare Scarabs are still very useful in solo self-found, so I think it's not a good choice. For Allflames, there is nothing too specific going on for this strategy, so just use them as you see fit. There aren't obvious synergies here with Harbinger, I'm afraid. It is less impressive overall than running the rogue unique farming strategy, but the two can be run in sequence, in case you run out of Scarabs for either of them. I'm ending the video with a few pro tips. 1. I would hide most shards and fragments and such on the filter. At this point you really don't want to pick up chaos shards and they will drop a lot, so you know, save yourself some RSI injuries. And 2, on the topic of clicking, what you will notice is that sometimes a Harbinger boss drops like 60 plus ancient orb shards. Those you want to pick up, but they're all over the screen. You can hide your loot filter, however, by pressing, in my case, Z, and then hover over the big shiny beam until you see the shard highlighted. Now you click. You can keep clicking in roughly the same spot and pick up all the shards easily without having to do too much. Once you're done, turn the loot filter back on. I hope you try out the strategy and let me know what you think. Also, let me know if you have any suggestions. Subscribe and like for more ARPG guides. Thanks for watching and making it to the end. Love you all. See you soon. Bye bye.